Many congressional Democrats will not vote for the $1 trillion bipartisan infrastructure bill without passing the $3.5 trillion package.
Lowered our credit rating. The failure to address the debt limit would be, as Secretary of the Treasury Janet Yellen recently stated, quote, have absolutely catastrophic economic consequences.
Which is aimed at enacting President Biden's economic agenda. Folks, if this bill does not get passed, that means our stimulus payments and, of course, Social Security boost will not be approved, and many Americans will not get the help that they so desperately need. So now Biden will have to ramp up his engagement with congressional Democrats on Wednesday. And that comes as the legislative agenda reaches its highest stake moment.
We're also going after the bad actors and pandemic profiteers in our economy. There's lots of evidence that gas prices should be going down, and the Build Back Better plan that I have proposed.
President Biden is going to meet with Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi to speak about this, folks. So hopefully Chuck Schumer, Nancy Pelosi, and President Biden can all come to an agreement and help out the American people with more stimulus relief payments. Do you approve of Congress and how they are dealing with our stimulus check? Tell me in the comments below. Now, the progressive leader, Pramila Jayapal, said that she called the meeting with Pelosi because she wanted the speaker to understand how serious progressives are about not passing a bipartisan bill unless the economic package was already passed. In my opinion, folks, there are too much back and forth negotiations going on. Congress must realize that there are still Americans in need of financial assistance.
What's going to happen is that we're going to see approval of both parts in what we call this work period in the next week or so. And then we're going to have to go back and put more details in the bigger package, in the package that looks at exactly how we want to structure child care to make sure that it's available.
So in early September, the Biden administration let the unemployment benefits end. Now Bloomberg reports that workers have not come rushing back into the workforce after benefits came down. And early research has shown that ending benefits early could strike a big economic blow for jobless Americans and our state's economies.
Right now, 8 million people are still unemployed. Something's not matching up. Don't you think we ought to hit the pause and find out the vulnerability that we have, Dana, right now? We don't know what happened with this COVID. It's awful coming back the way it is with a vengeance. We don't know about inflation. We know it's running rampant right now. I can tell you in West Virginia, inflation's running rampant. And on top of that, the challenges we're going to have, geopolitical challenges. Shouldn't we be prepared?
And everybody in the report shows that the government's decision to let unemployment benefits end will result in a $144 billion decrease in annual income and an $80 billion decrease in consumer spending. The average annual decrease in income from unemployment insurance is around $14,000 per person, and those figures come from an annualized analysis of research that looked at the economic impact of cutting benefits off early. Studies have shown that the loss of unemployment insurance benefits at the state level has resulted in recipients of unemployment insurance spending about $145 less per week. For every dollar in benefits lost, spending dropped by 52 cents. And that added up to a $2 billion drop in spending across all of those states. At the start of the crisis, the federal government expanded both the size and scope of unemployment insurance. Crisis unemployment assistance made gig workers and freelancers newly eligible. Among others, a separate analysis found that crisis unemployment assistance made up the greatest share of federal unemployment insurance distributed in 2020. The government beefed up benefits in the form of additional $600 weekly, which will later become a $300 benefit.
Consequences for the economy, for the American people, for our standing on the world stage would be too severe. Senate Republicans and the Republican leader, however, are again engaging in fantastical feats of sophistry.
Now, the enhanced unemployment benefits, alongside stimulus checks, help some Americans stay out of poverty. The U.S. Census Bureau found that the official poverty rate rose by 1% in 2020. Even so, the Biden administration affirmed in August that benefits would come to a close in September. Although states should continue paying out benefits on their own or give impacted residents some relief payments. But no state, everybody, said they will continue benefits. And also, there is a limited amount of time for families with eligible children to sign up if they did not get the checks automatically, likely because they don't traditionally file a tax return. The IRS non-filer portal will be open through October 15th, meaning there's just 1 month left for families to use it. Families that enroll for the credits will now see a larger remaining payment than those who have been getting them monthly since July. That's when the checks began. And that is because the monthly money is in advance on a 2021 tax credit. Half of that comes to be delivered this year, with the rest to families when they file their taxes next year. The American Rescue Plan passed in March expanded the existing child tax credit, adding monthly advance payments and increasing the benefit to $3,000 from $2,000, with a $600 bonus for kids under the age of 6 for the 2021 tax year. If they filed a tax return in 2019 or 2020 and had direct deposits, the families started receiving the first $3,300 of the credit in 6 monthly payments of $550.
But we live in a country where minimum wage does not pay rent in a single state in the United States of America. Telling someone to get a job when they're about to be evicted is to communicate that you're not living in this country at this time.
When moratorium evictions expire, there is an associated increase in COVID-19 and mortality. Right now, 7.7 million renters report being behind on their rent. That is nearly 14% of all adult renters. And people of color who have been hit hardest by this pandemic are disproportionately at risk. Nearly 1/4 of Black renters report being behind on rental payments. Now, last year, Congress worked together to account for that staggering reality. We believed that landlords should not have to bear this cost alone. So we provided more than $45 billion in emergency rental assistance. And that money is now getting into the hands of landlords around this country. It is helping families who lost a job get caught up on missed payments. But the money is going out too slowly. As of the end of August, nearly 90% of emergency rental assistance funds had not yet been distributed. There are still billions of dollars to distribute and millions of families who need that help to avoid losing their homes. But thanks to an extremist Supreme Court, evictions are now on the rise. We can avoid further exacerbating this crisis if Congress can step up now and pass legislation that keeps families in their homes through the duration of this emergency. Implementing a new eviction moratorium will save lives. It is time now for Congress to act. And I am deeply honored to be here with my longtime partner and the woman who speaks the love language of policy, Congresswoman Ayanna Pressley. Ayanna?